So today we have three-time Survivor player Jeremy Collins, Survivor Season 29, Blood versus Water 2, and then Survivor Cambodia, famously won, and then Season 40, Winners at War, which is you were going to get up against some legends there.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming on and joining us today.
Hey, no problem, man. This is cool. Are you guys Survivor fans or what? I got to know what we're dealing with here before we start this thing going.
Like I started watching consistently 32, but then started coming back and watching the older seasons.
All right. That's good. Yes, man. You missed a lot of good seasons, Josh.
Yeah.
Oh, me. I dabble here and there, dip my toes in the water.
All right. That's good. That's good. See, I'm a lifelong fan. Like I've been watching since
Committed.
Yeah.
How did you get to that stage where you decided you were going to apply?
Okay, so like you got to think. So back then it was VHS tapes. Like it wasn't even like computers. Like you had to take a video camera and record yourself and send it in. So I'm gonna rewind it. Even before that, I was in when I was in college. I used to run track in college, and every week we would have 2 workouts for track, and the workouts are crazy. They're like, like 400, 400, 400, 300, 300, 300. Like it's long workouts that afterwards you throw up. You know what I mean? It's like it's a grind and brutal. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so because I didn't want to throw up food, I wouldn't eat all day because I knew I was like, all right, I have a workout tonight. I'm not going to eat all day. I'm just going to drink water and juice or whatever. So then I would work out, throw up, and then I'll go eat. And I did that for 4 years. So when Survivor's on, I was like, listen, I can go with no food and still compete at a high level. So that's what my mindset was when I first started watching Survivor. I was like, I can do this with no food and still compete and win. You know what I mean? So I started sending in VHS tapes and telling them like, hey, I can win this game because I will be the most fit guy. I will win all these challenges. I don't need to eat food, and I'll just dominate. And that's why I first started to get into the show.
Was being a firefighter did that give you an advantage coming into the game? Were you like better acclimated to handle tough situations?
I don't think so. I think more than like the elements and stuff. I think people look at firefighters as more as trustworthy. So going in, I said, I'm going to let everybody know I'm a firefighter. I want everybody to trust me and want to work with me. And that's why I said I want to wear my Cambridge Fire t-shirt. I want everybody to know if you want someone that's loyal and you can work with somebody, work with Jeremy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So police officers usually they go into the game and they don't tell you that they don't tell you their occupation because people don't really want to work with a lot of cops. You know what I mean? So that was my mindset. The firefighters are trustworthy and loyal. Let's work with them. But the elements and stuff, the fire department has nothing to do with any of that. We sleep good at the firehouse. We have good we have good firehouse. We got the good accommodations. Yeah.
So starting with season 29, you played with your wife Val. What was that like? And did that make the game more difficult?
Yeah, playing with your loved one is really tough. Like, so I'm gonna give you a little background, Josh. So when they sent out after I sent in and said my application and stuff, and I got called back. So what they do is they send you out to LA, and I think it's different now with COVID, after COVID and everything, but they send you out to LA for a week, and you do 4 interviews, and you have to pass each interview, or you're on the next flight home. It's really cutthroat. And so when they send me out there, they asked me who I wanted to go with, and I said, like, I'm not bringing my wife. You know what I mean? My wife will beat me. Like, if you go with your wife, you'll fall on the sword for her. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so what I did was I told them, I said, listen, I want my brother. So I was calling I have 4 brothers, and I'm calling them all up, and I'm like, hey, I got a call for Survivor. can you come out there with me? So one of them actually said, yeah. And he went out to LA with me, and he was going through all the interviews, and we passed all of them except for we passed the first two, and the third one we didn't pass. They said they pulled us in the room and they said, all right, Jeremy, we want you to stay, but they said to my brother, they said, you're all set, we're going to send you home. And they said, Jeremy, who else would you bring? So then at that point, I'm like I need to get on this show. I've been trying for 10 years. So I've been sending applications in for 10 years, and they call me every year, and it wasn't there. And so at that point, I'm like, I need to get on this show. I'll bring my wife, mm-hmm. And they said when they called my wife, they called me back. They called the room and they said, you think you're slick? Like, you kept her from us. She would be great for this show, and you kept her from us. And I was like, listen, like, I'm trying to win this game. Like, I'm not going to bring sand to the beach. You know what I mean? Like, mm-hmm. I'm trying to win. Like, why would I bring somebody that's going to beat me? Exactly. So it's tough working, being out there with like your loved one that like you really like need. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. Like brothers, and like your little brother, like you be like, yo, get out of here. Like I'm gonna vote you out, and then I'm gonna go win this money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like
it's hard to like
wife,
turn on someone that you're so
like
exactly.
Because you know what, like it's just like if you're playing your brother in basketball, or
you're going maximum effort. You want to dominate them.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they'll understand that. You know what I mean? But your wife don't understand that. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a challenge.
Why do you think you were selected for Second Chances? And like, how did you feel when you found out that you were chosen?
So after my first season, I should have won that season. I should have won my first season. In fact, the day that they voted me out, I said to the producers, I said, I just won this game. Like I said, I know I got a lot of work to do, but I just won. My alliance took out the other alliance main guy. It was me and him. You know what I'm saying? His name is Josh. Me and Josh, we were like the two heads, and I took them out, and I said, these other guys don't know what they're doing. I'm about to win this game. And my own alliance turned on me like the next day and got me out. And I think the audience saw that and said, like, we didn't see enough of Jeremy yet. Like, let's get him back in here and see what he could do.
Yeah. Did you feel any more pressure than, I guess, your first season? Did you feel like you had to play for the fans?
That's a good question, Josh. Listen, so my second season, so after my first season, I took it hard. I thought, I went in there and I said, I'm only going to play this thing one time. You only get one chance. And I lost, and I took it hard. Like, it was a lot on me. I cried. They sit you up with the psychologist in CBS, and they'll talk you through it. You know what I mean? And I was like, I took it hard.
No, especially you said you're like years trying to apply, get on the show.
10 years.
Yeah.
10 years to try to get on this thing. And so the second time I said, I ain't going to win. So like, I'm just going to go have fun. And I just wanted to just go and enjoy myself, have fun, make plays, big plays that like, I said it like this. I said, I'm playing like it's for no money. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's no pressure on me. I'm just going to go have fun, and I'm going to do crazy things, and like, who cares? Because I'm not going to win. Mm-hmm. And then it worked out. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So you said that like you didn't think about the money like whatsoever. So like, are all players on like Survivor paid, or?
Oh yeah. Oh, everybody's paid. So like the first person out. So everybody gets
base salary, like
at $10,000 basically. Mm-hmm. You get $10,000 to go to the season finale, and to play the game you get 10 grand or whatever. And on top of that, everybody out, the first person out gets another $2,500. So first person out, you play three days, you get 12.5, and then second person gets 15 grand, and it just moves up like that. Once you get to the top couple, like that's when the money jumps up a little bit higher. So like second place gets like 100 grand.
Oh, that's a lot. That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
100 grand is good money, but second place is a hard pill to swallow when you see that other number one person. Oh, $1 million or two. Like my last season, it was 2 million for the winner.
Hmm.
So I want to get into like the actual game. I always like wonder how are people not like getting sick, or do people like overheat and like overeat also, like during food rewards or like the merge feast, and like how do people regain their strength after the show, and how do they stay so strong during the challenges?
So I would say like the challenges are like you walk to the challenges and you're weak, you're tired. Just walking on the sand is a lot.
Yeah.
Like I would always say like I would look at the sand and walk on the wet part of the sand. Right on the where the water's coming in, because picking your feet up in dry sand takes a lot out of you. That's how weak you are. You're living on like a handful of rice a day, and a couple coconuts. So it it's draining, but as soon as the challenge starts, it's like you're ready to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
you're locked
it
in.
just
I saw
I
you ate a water bug in one of your challenges, like
I did.
with,
I was
like no
so
hesitate.
hungry.
Like, yeah,
I was so hungry though. Like I
Wait,
was
so like,
looking forward to that.
yeah.
wait, so they only feed you like coconuts and rice?
Coconuts, rice, snails. There was
No, no, like chicken nugget behind the scene, or just coconuts and rice?
what? Behind the scenes. What? No. Coconuts, rice, snails, whatever you can fit, whatever you can get. There was a lot of snails on my first season. So you
Hmm.
can get the little snails, they just pull them off the rocks, boil them up, crack them, eat them. They were great. It was great. Second season as well. There was a lot of snails. My last season there was none. There was no snails at all. But
Hmm.
what was it? So Cambodia and in Nicaragua there was a ton of snails, but in Fiji there was none.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, like whatever you could find. Like if you fish, you go fishing and you get these little tiny baby fish. They're this big, and you got to split it between 8 people, 9 people. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're just getting this much. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
but
ridiculous.
Yeah. Um, I gotta ask
Oh,
about the
wait,
idols
Josh.
also.
So like I meant to tell you. So like when the food reward challenges, like you're gonna eat. You you go
Oh yeah.
crazy, and you
Yeah.
can't help yourself, and you're gonna be sick.
Yeah.
And your stomach's gonna hurt, but you just do it anyways. It doesn't matter. You can't. It doesn't matter how much you prepare and tell yourself, "I'm not gonna do this." You're gonna do it anyways.
Yeah.
temptation.
Yeah. Um, I gotta ask about the idols also, because I feel like as a viewer watching the show at the TV, I feel like whenever like one of the players says, "I'm gonna go look for an idol," and the cameras go follow them, they end up finding something. Like I know you found an advantage in like the tree, and that wasn't even the idol yet. So like, how long do people go out and look for idols, and like how difficult is it really?
So different seasons, people do different things. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we all know, like, listen, we're gonna go look, and we all just go and look, and it takes hours and hours and hours. It's a big island. I wish I could let you know like the square footage, but it's huge, and you're looking for something that's the size of like a wallet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
And it's hidden. It could be anywhere. They're so hard to find. Um, but like you just got to go out and put in the work. And some seasons they'll let you do it. Some seasons they'll be like, people are like, "Hey, we're all looking, so let's go do it." And
yeah.
other seasons they're like, "If you go looking, we're coming after you. You're playing too hard, and you're gonna get voted out." So like you got to pick and choose. You got to play kind of sneaky. You gotta. A lot of times, what I would do is I say, "Listen, I'm gonna go get wood, and you go find firewood, and you start bringing firewood. But while you're looking, you do a quick scan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Classic.
Looking at the places. And that's the best way to do it. If you're looking to get on the show and you're asking me for advice on how to find idols, I would say when you're going out, look for firewood, and every time you look grabbing firewood, do your little searches. Then that's the best way to do it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, so now I want to ask about the island and like the layout of the game, because they show you guys walking to challenges and like walking back from travel when it's like pitch black out, and like how far is everything from each other, and are you really walking from each thing?
All right, so a little sneak. This is inside baseball right now. Right?
Insider trading.
Yeah. So early seasons, when it first started, they would walk miles to get to tribal. They stopped doing that. They put you on a boat, and you the my first season, was it on a boat my first season? I think we were in a truck, and it's a blacked out truck, and they just drove us through the jungle. But my last 2 seasons, it was on a boat. You would get on a boat, and it's blacked out. You don't know where you're going, and we're in the boat for 30 minutes or so, 45 minutes to another island, and that's where tribal is.
And you can't talk strategy on the way.
That's a good question. So at that time, it's called lockdown. So like every time we're playing, cameras are on, and at some point they'll let you know, like, hey, we have about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever they give you the countdown, and say wrap everything up because we're gonna go to tribal. And as soon as the time's out, it says it's locked down. There's no more talking. So now we gather up our gear and we get on the boat. It's the boat's pitch black, blocked out. We get into the hull of the boat, and we are going to tribal. Nobody's talking. Silence. We get to the island. They mic us up in silence, and we're all in the tent in silence. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
And then once they march us into tribal, then we can start talking.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The key is they say we can't show any of this on TV, so don't talk because it's not gonna. If we try to make a deal or something, that's not gonna make it on TV. So don't do it now because it's not gonna make it on TV. Wait till we get to a place where it's live.
Yeah. So the cameras, are there a lot of cameras at the island, and are they distracting? And like, I got like, when you're looking for an idol, how do people not see like the cameras in the woods, or like, I was wondering when Tony in one of his seasons when he made the fort in the leaves, like, how do the cameras hide, and how does that work?
So it takes about, I would say, a half a day to get used to the cameras. There's camera guys. Is when we first start, on each island is 10 people or whatever, or sometimes it's less than 6 or whatever. But for the most part, there's 10 per tribe, and there will be 3 sets of cameramen, or 3 or 4 sets of cameramen following you around. Once the numbers start dwindling down, the numbers of cameras start dwindling down, cameramen and stuff, and crew. But you get used to it. So like the first half a day, you're looking at these people looking at you in the camera, and you're like, this is weird. But then it's game time, and you start playing. It's the craziest thing. You just forget about the cameras even on you. When you're looking for an idol, the camera's on you, and you think, like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, the idol's somewhere here.
You must be close.
Yes, but they mess with you. They mess with you all the time, and they're like this, and then you don't find it, and then they walk away, and you're like, yo, what the hell? Like I thought I was on to something, but they're trying to film a show. They want to show you that you're looking, and boom, they're gone. You know what I mean? And sometimes they're on you, and you're in the right spot, and they just get you. But for the most part, if you're looking in the right area, they're going to be on you.
Yeah.
There was my what was it? My first season, I had a clue, and the clue said it was underground, so I had to dig, and it was right by the shelter. So all these cats, they go to sleep early. You know what I mean? It's like I'd be up all night, so I would wait till everybody's asleep and then go out and start digging. And I'm telling you, like, it's 10, 15 feet away from the shelter, and I'm digging at night. And like I'm sweating and digging. I dug a trench. The trench must have been like 3 feet deep, like 10 by 10. It was ridiculous. And like if they got up and started walking, they would have fell into the grave that I just dug looking for this idol. And then I would have to cover it back up. And I guess I heard afterwards the producers would this is after the game's over and stuff. The producers said that they would go back when shift changed to different cameramen and stuff. They would say, hey, Jeremy was so close. He was right there, but he didn't get it. And they said, let me know if he gets it tomorrow. You know what I mean? So like they kind of like, they see where you're at, but they don't influence the game at all. You know what I mean? Like they
Mhm.
just let you play your game. This is your story,
Just like
so they
quiet
want you to tell
observers.
your story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so do some players that have played multiple seasons like you try to like watch the cameras and see where they're pointing, but it still doesn't help?
It doesn't help. It's not even worth trying to do. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're gonna get in your own head if you do that. So don't
Yeah.
even bother.
You
Yeah.
gotta focus. Because I know you found an idol at one of the like during a challenge, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just
So
grabbed it.
I had the clue, and so that was like my first time I really found it. I thought I found the idol, so
Yeah.
I'm going crazy, and then I'm like, "Are you serious? Like, it's not even the idol. I have to go find. I have to go get it in front of everybody now." But it was kind of a cool part of the game that they switched up and they had it hidden at the challenge, but nobody else knows about it. So people and the challenges are really high, stressful, intense, fast, and nobody's really looking for the idols. But now that they know that sometimes idols are going to be there, so like people are trying to change the game, and now they're playing challenges looking for idols. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. What would you say is like an underrated skill to have on the show?
An underrated skill. I mean, I think that yeah, social game is huge. I think you just got to be able to like uh, talk to people and work with anybody.
Mhm.
I think that's the most important key to the game. I know a lot of stuff like you can find idols, you can, you could win challenges and stuff. I think the social part is huge.
That's
So
how
if
you
you
get
could
it down.
talk to people, yeah, yeah. If you could talk to people and like get people on your side, and it doesn't matter if you're big and strong or small, and like you could if you could pull enough people and you could flip a game anytime.
Yeah.
So we went a little bit. So you were applying for like you were trying for like 10 years, right? So like you have to make a video. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So and even now, like Jeff is doing a good job with getting people that are fans of the show and that they have good strategy and stuff, and they've been watching for years. But yeah, you have to put in a video and let them know. And I tell everybody, I said, let this isn't a job interview. Like the producers want to either have a beer with you and hang with you, or like they don't like you, but they need to see more of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this person's the worst person, but he'd be great on TV, or she'd be like wonderful
I have a
on TV.
personality.
Yes. So you take your personality, and I always say don't fake it. Like
Yeah.
if you're a nice person, don't try to go in there and be mean. You know what I mean? Take your personality and just give it to them on 50. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And just hang out. You know what I mean? Like that was my problem when I first started getting on the show. I was like I thought I was gonna just beat everybody in challenges, and they called me every year, and my phone would ring, and it was the only number that would be like a block number that I would ever get. So I started answering the phone like, "Yo, Caitlin, you gonna put me on or what?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And over year after year after year, and then my last year, I was like, "Listen, I'm older now. It's been 10 years. Like, I'm not gonna beat these young guys and girls anymore, but this is what I can do now. Like, I'll do this, 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 and this." And they
Mhm.
were like, "You sound like you're ready now. You're a survivor now. So let's go." And
You
and
know
that's
your
how I've
limits.
done. Yeah, yeah. You can't if you say, "Hey, I'm gonna beat everybody in challenges," they're not gonna put you on. It's
Yeah.
just
Everyone says
it's
that.
not gonna happen.
They don't want like the mentality.
Yeah.
No, it's not gonna happen. It's and the challenges are so like crazy. Like anybody could win anything at any time. It's not just like brute strength. They just mix it up so crazy, and then they'll have a puzzle at the end, and like it's just crazy.
What was
Mhm.
the hardest? What are the hardest types of challenges like for like individual immunity when it's all on you?
For me, I would say any of the ones that are like that you have to like concentrate and like balance.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people that do like yoga and stuff, they're great at those. Like I don't do that stuff. You know what I mean? I used to run track and play basketball and football and stuff. Like, I don't do that yoga stuff.
Yeah.
So like if you had stuff to run and jump, like I was in for that. But like the balancing, I was like, I can't do that. So I was terrible at that.
Yeah.
There was one that you had to like take puzzle pieces out with your feet and lift them up and put like a whole like a 3D, kind of like a 3D puzzle, but you had to only use your feet. And then at the end, you'd have to take a flag and put it through the middle of it. Like it was a 3-tier puzzle, like who does that?
Yeah, that's not like a skill like you go on the show knowing you could do.
Yeah.
Yes, nobody does that. But listen, now these cats nowadays, though, these young cats that are trying to get on, they're getting these puzzles and they're practicing at home. These dudes are changing the game. These cats are wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of changing the game, what do you think of like the seasons changing from being shortened to 26 days versus the old 39?
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
39 is at 25. The day 25 is when I felt myself like,
Right.
yes. The first season I was on it, I went at 25 and I got voted out day 25. And I said, as soon as I got out the game, I was like, yo, I'll play right now. Like I told the producers, I'm like, I'm fine. I'm ready to go. Like, let's do this. Like, I feel great. My second season, day 26, that's when I felt it. And then my third season, day 26, I felt it again. I'm like, yo, that was where my breaking point was. I know that nowadays, the seasons now, they give you less. So they kind of try to accelerate that feeling of like,
Fatigue.
yes, yeah. They don't give you any food at all. Like my first season, we had a bag of rice. You know what I mean? My second season, the first day we could go, and the challenge was we had to swim out. It was a marooning, they call it. So you're on a boat, you try to grab anything you can, and then swim out to a bag of rice. So like you already have a 20-pound bag of rice. Nowadays they're not doing that. They're not giving you anything, and you're just out there by yourself. It's tough.
Yeah. How would you make the show better? Like, what would you add?
Jeez, you know what? I wouldn't do so many of these idols and stuff. Like a lot of times they're doing like all these like the idols are great,
Yeah.
but like they're doing like they're getting a little crazy.
Some of the like multi-step advantages.
Yeah, like it's a little too much. It's confusing. You know what I mean? And like when you're out there and you're not eating, it's tough to like
Process.
to get. Oh my God! I'll tell you another story. There was one day that it was my first season, I believe. Maybe it was my second season, I forget. But I was doing it's called a walk. What we say is we're going on a walk, and that means you're going to interview, a one-on-one interview. So like they have a camera set up far away, and they want to know your story, what you're doing, what's going on in the game. There was one time I was doing a walk, and I couldn't even form a sentence. It was the wildest thing. I said, and I caught myself. I was like, listen, I can't even talk right now. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I can't form a sentence. I'm slurring my words. It was wild. And they said, all right, listen, they're making rice right now back at camp. Why don't you go back and get a little bit of rice, get some water and then we'll try to figure out. And I went and it was a handful of rice. That's exactly what they give you. They give a handful of rice per person. And I got that, and my mind was right back into it. And I went back for the walk, and I said, this is wild that I could do this now. I couldn't do it 15 minutes ago.
A little bit of rest, like was the activator.
Yeah. Yes. It was wild. It was such a crazy thing. It was kind of cool to go through, because like we have all the comforts of home and stuff. If you're hungry, you go grab a snack in the pantry. You know what I mean? You go cook something.
You don't realize like not having food, like what it does to you.
You don't realize it at all. And it was cool to go through. And then it's cool to see your body change. Like your skin gets clearer. You know what I mean? Like you're not putting any toxins in your body. Your teeth are like out there. You're cleaning your teeth with toothpicks and stuff, and you're taking ash from the fire to polish them and whiten them. But you're a lot cleaner than you think. You know what I mean? Like your breath doesn't smell as bad as you would think without brushing your teeth for 30 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You would think that like it would be terrible.
You would think it's horrible. If you guys didn't brush your teeth for a week and just went on with life right now, eating your food, drinking your coffee or whatever, it would smell like straight garbage.
Yeah, I would think it would be disgusting.
It would be disgusting. It's not as bad as you think when you're out there.
But would you say that maybe that's like an aspect of like being on the show, like you thinking like because you're out there in the wilderness, maybe it's like a product of your environment.
No, I think that it's just your body is clean of all the toxins and stuff and all the bad things you're putting in your body. All you're eating is basically white rice. You know what I mean? And coconut. So like you're just and water. There's no sodas. There's no.
Yeah, you're not eating like your Doritos and like Coca-Cola.
Yes. So it's just clean. Now, don't get me wrong. Like your breath doesn't smell great. You know what I mean? But like it's not as bad as you think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's and your skin's clearer. That all the girls, their hair is like shinier. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like it's like nature. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's crazy.
Yeah.
it's wild. It really is wild.
I always see like everyone loses so much weight. They always show the train like crazy.
I think I lost like on an average for my 3 seasons is about 30 pounds.
Yeah,
30?
wow.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And we
now-
stink. Don't get me wrong. Like I will say, like my clothes really smell, and you can smell. It's a lot of firewood. You can smell the wood from the fire, but you could. It stinks. You're like we do stink. You know, my buff really smells. You know, but like your body odor, it wasn't as horrible as you think without putting deodorant on for a month. It wasn't as bad.
And you're doing with everyone else, so like you're all in it together.
Yeah, and everybody smells a little bit. We all stink a little bit, so like it all blends in. You know what I'm saying?
Is there like a little like Survivor network? Are you guys like still in contact, like the people on the show with you?
Yeah, for the most part. Like I talked to like geez, I haven't talked to anybody today from the show, but on average, once a day, I'll at least if I don't talk to them on the phone or a text, it's social media or something. But you know, I've been on 3 seasons, so that's a lot of people that I've played with. So like lifelong friends. I'm going to one of the guys, Savage. His daughter's getting married, and I'm going to her wedding. You know what I mean?
You build connections inside outside the show.
Oh yeah, it's wild. So it's cool. It's cool. Lifelong friends.
Now they're only filming in Fiji, right? Like all of the past seasons are only in Fiji, and I like the older ones where it's always like a new location. It really changes the game.
Yeah, I'm with you like on that. Like it's another thing. It was cool to be like so I went to Nicaragua the first time, I went to Cambodia the second time, and then Fiji the third time. It's cool to go to these different places. Yeah, you know, like so now Fiji, like I watch the seasons now and I'm like, oh yeah, I know where they're at right now. I slept there for a week. You know what I mean? Like oh, I know that island.
Yeah.
And if sometimes you could see them walk by a tree, and on the tree it's like it looks like they carved out a spot, and that you could see like, oh, that's where we were marking the days of the week, and then they take it and then they just cross it all out and have a smooth part of the tree. And I'm like, yeah, that's because that's where we were marking our days.
Over it.
Yeah. So like, it's not the same. I get it though. Like they're saving a lot of money, you know, doing the way they're doing it. You know, to take production and like all the everything that they have to
each camera guy, like you said.
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. They told me that they would break down they have helicopters, and they would break down helicopters, put them in tractor trailers, and then ship them to the next country. I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of money that it costs to move a whole production of Survivor. Yeah, it's a lot.
What's like your favorite location of all like Survivor of all time, any season?
And where would you put a new season?
Any season, all time, and then where would you put the next season?
Oh man, so like, I'm biased because Cambodia is the one I won, but Cambodia was the most beautiful. It was the hardest. Like it'll rain for 5 days straight. The humidity, like you would wake up and you're drenched, and you're like, did it rain last night? And they're like, no, it didn't even rain last night. You know, it was so hard. The bugs were crazy. Like it was a grind. It was a tough season. So Cambodia is the worst. I will say I've heard stories about Africa, and they said Africa, there was no like water. So they said it was a lot tougher for like water challenges, and then just to get clean and stuff. Like, you know, you go jump in the water and you clean yourself off. You go to the bathroom out in the water. Like it's a lot. It's just better.
More ease of access.
More hygienic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they said in Africa there'd be a lake and like, there's animals that die in that lake. Yeah. So it's like it's not a great place. I would like to see it back there because I want to see these people struggle a little bit.
Yeah. Would you go back on the show? Because I know after you won, you said absolutely not, and then we saw what
They
happened.
did an alumni season. Would you go?
We saw what happened with Winners at War. You went back, but if you got the call,
So my first time I was like, yo, I loved it. I have to go back. I went back for second chance, and I told them, I was like, I'm done. Like, I had my Survivor experience. This was a dream since season 1. I got my dream twice. I'm good. But then they called about Winners at War, and they never said it was going to be Winners at War or anything. But I kind of figured out it was going to be an all-winner thing, and I was like I gotta play. Like, I can't sit at home. I gotta play that. And I didn't even play well. You know what I mean? I played a bad game. I wish I played better. But I'm happy with my Survivor experience. I can't go back. I'm getting old. Like, I miss too much stuff when I'm away. Like, my kids I got 2 young ones, and it's a lot, man. It's a lot. It's a grind. It's tough. I will say, like, that's the hardest part of the game, is being away from your family and missing out on things. Like, for instance, when my family came out, my second season, my wife came out, and she was like, hey, Jordan my oldest daughter got her license, and there was a soccer team that she made the team, and she gave me a whole bunch of information about what's going on at home, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I need to get out of here. You know what I mean? It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. So, like,
That's when
we went on like a school trip like a year ago. We came back and just like so much has happened. We were only on for like 2 weeks.
you feel like you miss
I'm
out.
telling you, it's wild. So, like, okay, this is good. So, like, one season, I don't remember all the seasons combined now, but one season I would go to the producers and like the cameraman, and I would be like, hey, LeBron killed him last night, huh? And I'd be looking at him like, and they'd be laughing at me. So they wouldn't tell you. They don't talk to you. You know what I mean? Like, all right. So, like, first season they didn't talk to you at all. Second season they talked to you a little bit, and third season they gave me a little bit more. We talked a little bit more. But when we landed on my first season, I landed, and one of the producers was behind me, and he said, hey, LeBron lost in the championship, or lost in the finals, and he's going to Miami. He's like, gay marriage is legal. And he ran off like 3 or 4 things. And it was like, what? Yo, like, what happened in this world where we were out there for a month? It's just so much changes in just a short amount of time. So, like, it's wild, man.
yeah.
Wild.
And your kid's gonna go on the show?
I think so. I think
Raising
one of my
future
daughters.
survivors.
Yes. One of my daughters wants to play. I don't know if she got it in her yet. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if she has that. Like, she doesn't like flies. Like, she's like, oh, flies are so nasty. I'm like, yo, you better get used to that if you're gonna be out there playing. Yes, like, come on, we gotta tighten that up. Straight up. But she wants to play. She said she wants. My oldest daughter doesn't want to play, and my boys, they're like, they don't know nothing about this. You know, they were my 2 young boys. They don't know nothing about Survivor. These dudes just want to play football and soccer, and they want to play Madden and stuff. These dudes don't know. But one of my daughters, she might be able to do it.
See the Survivor?
She gets hangry though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if she could do it without food. You know, she'll be voted out on like day 7.
Yeah. I mean, maybe she won't be seen as like a physical threat, so they'll keep her for a little longer.
I don't know. So she plays ball though. She's tough. She's strong, and she plays basketball and stuff like. Yeah. They'll look at her and be like, "Oh, we got to get her out." You know what I mean?
They're like legacy survivors.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing. They're talking about it.
Yeah.
Like Boston Rob's kids are getting older. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people. Cerie's son's older. He's on like what is he on? They're on Big Brother with Cerie right now, and Like I could see it. I could see them trying to get something like a legacy season.
Maybe you'll go on with your daughter.
Hell no. Ain't happening, yo. She
Would
gotta
you
win
do a
by
parent-child
herself.
season as the comeback season or no?
No, I'm done. Don't you guys hear me? I'm done.
No, we
No.
brought you to convince you to do another season. That was our objective today.
I told Jeff, I told Probst, I said, the last season, I said, I did 100 days on an island. I got 100 days. I said, don't call me no more. I'm done. Leave me alone. Let me go live my life. And I heard that he thinks that he could still get me back. But like some of the other producers are like, no, he's done. He doesn't want to. I'm done, man. I'm all done. I'm getting old. I'm done.
Have good memories. Don't want to spoil them.
Yeah, you know. And so like going in, my first season, I used to lift and lift and lift, and I went in all ripped and strong, and they looked at me as a threat. So then my second season, I was like, I'm not working out, I'm chilling out, but I was still in really good shape, and they still looked at me as a threat, but it wasn't as bad. My third season, I said, I'm not doing anything, and I couldn't even keep up. Like the challenges like were a lot tougher. Like I was struggling. And now I'm in worse shape than then. You know what I mean? I'm done, yo.
Yeah. The Survivor dream's over.
Survivor dream's over. I got my Survivor dream. I loved it. I played 3 times. Like 3 times? That's crazy. People try forever to just get on once. And then they lose in the first 3 days.
I can't even imagine how that feels.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. You know what I mean? And I got 3 times. I made the merge all 3 times. You know, I won once. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
So what are you up to now? Like post Survivor? What's life like post Survivor?
Oh, it's like this is like for instance today, right? So I got up first thing in the morning. My first son Remy, he had football, so we had a couple games of flag football. I'm out there coaching him. Mm-hmm. Then we head out to my oldest daughter. She's playing soccer at Bryant. So we went to Holy Cross today. She played Holy Cross. Then I came back and like we're hanging with the neighbors and in the pool, and you know, like this is my life. Like we're just hanging out with, you know, I run from sports with these kids and activities with these kids to just hanging out with the fam. That's my life.
I want to ask one last question. Is what is the biggest life lesson Survivor's taught you?
The biggest life lesson, I would say like family is more important than anything. No matter like how much money you have, no matter, you know, your situation you're in, there's nothing like having people that trust you, that love you unconditionally. Like it being away at Survivor brought me so much closer to my wife, to my kids. Like it grounds you. You know what I mean? Like when you're mad at your kids because they're being your boys because they're being knuckleheads, you got to remember like, hey, listen, I could be away right now and missing all this. You know what I mean? So like I just like I look back on all the time I'm away from them, away from the kids and away from my wife and stuff, and you appreciate them so much more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's wild. It really opens up. I mean, like I'm telling you, I went away on my first season and I came back and we were like, yo, like let's have more kids. You know what I'm saying? And it just brings you so much closer. And then we had more kids, and then I go away and I'm like, we should have another one. You know what I mean? Like it really does bring you closer to your family, and just like all I want to do now is just hang with the kids and go on vacation and like take them to their sports and activities and stuff. Like that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, great speaking to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
This was cool, man. This is cool. I'm glad I did it. Yeah. Listen, I don't do many of these. Like I people hit me up all the time about doing these things, but I'm like, yo, I'm not doing it. Like, leave me alone. Yeah. But the Silks, they're my people. So I was like, yo, let me hit you up. You know?
Listen, yeah, we really appreciate it. This is really awesome.
This is good, man. Good luck, man. I'm proud of you. This is big time, yo. Y'all are doing it, man.
Thank you.